Hi, I'm Jean Nolte, editor at Fons & Porter.
And I'm Colleen Tauke. I'm the sewing specialist at Fons & Porter. In this tutorial, we will show you how to create the Bright Idea quilt.
For the pattern for this quilt, go to shopfonsandporter.com/quiltingquickly. Okay, this is an easy quilt to make. You need a pack of 2.5-inch strips in bright colors, and then a bunch of 18.5 by 2.5-inch strips of a white background fabric. So all we're going to do is sew these together.
Right. We're going to open up that packet of bright strips and remove all the selvages.
You do cut the selvages and clean these ends up on everything.
Right. Exactly.
So what we're going to do, and you've already got a piece started, I don't think anybody really needs to see us sew this. You're going to take a colored strip, white strip,
white,
colored strip,
white strip. I think you're kind of seeing that there's a pattern going on
here. So
here.
you do that until you have all of your strips connected into one great big long strip.
You're going to have one large pile of strips.
Now, there are quilts where you start sewing them together like that, but this is different.
It's a little bit different.
For this quilt, you're going to start it back at this beginning end.
Now we want to make sure we remember where the beginning is. So we're going to put a safety pin in here because we're going to be dealing with this strip over and over again.
Yeah, the hardest thing about this quilt is to keep everything in order. So what you're going to do is measure 75.5 inches.
So when I was creating this quilt for 75 inches, I went to a banquet table and I measured off 75 inches and I put a tape mark from end to end to mark the beginning and the end.
Mark from the end of the table to your mark, cut it off. Then here's the tricky thing. Somehow you want to know that that's strip number 1.
So we can use sticky dots with numbers.
So
you know that this is going to be cut number 1. Put it up here at the top. And when I was cutting them, I laid them out, cut off the first piece, then I measured again, laying it strip number 2 on top of 1, went down through the entire strip, just stacking them up. They're all the same length.
And then I would suggest marking somehow the top of each strip with its number, because it's important to keep it in order to sew them together. So once you've cut all of your strips,
then what I did is I turned the stack over, and I wanted to go back to number 1. So then I'm taking strip number 1, strip number 2, and joining them. Now if you look at the quilt, it's a little bit backwards. We're going to start over on the right-hand side, and you can see that long blue strip. It's long, so it's the whole 44 width, and then we have that first piece of white, 18-inch. You'll notice that the pink at the bottom corner continues on in strip 2. Because of that linking and the cutting, green ends strip 2, green starts number 3. And that way, you offset each of those white bars, creating a diagonal line.
And that just happens. It's like we just used the length of the fabric, and that just happened. Now, there's a little trick to sewing those long strips together.
Oh, right. When we join row 1 and row 2, we're going to sew down. When we go 2 to 3, we're going to sew in the opposite direction, sewing from bottom to top. If you don't alternate those seam lines, top to bottom, bottom to top, the whole entire quilt top will get kind of a tilt, and it will turn into somewhat of a diamond. So back and forth, up and down through the quilt will keep it much more square.
So once you have all of your rows sewn together, your quilt top's done. You could probably make that.
You need to go back and finish, straighten up top and bottom, just so it's nice and neat. And
you could probably make that in an afternoon.
And I think I did. Thanks for joining us today.
To see more of our videos, go to video.fonsandporter.com.